Hello and welcome to Business Reporter's The Future of Responsible Business campaign. I'm Alistair Greener. Charitable giving by corporations is based on the understanding, now commonplace, that businesses can have a social impact far beyond the sector in which they work. It's part of a long-standing trend towards corporate social responsibility, and it brings real benefits to the communities or issues they channel money towards. But how does the process work? What can it do for businesses themselves, their reputation and the morale of their staff? And of course, are there organisations on hand who can empower businesses to go further with their giving? This is what we're going to discuss today with Philippa Cornish, Head of Corporate Clients Philanthropy Services at Charities Aid Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, corporate giving has grown over the recent years. Why is it that businesses seem to be more aware of the impact that their giving has?
Well, essentially, I think it's because it's become increasingly clear that it just makes good business sense. We know currently that organisations are seen as, or businesses are seen as, some of the most trusted organisations in the world. The Edelman Trust Barometer showed that people have more faith in organisations than they do in governments. And so with that comes some pressure on the CEO, on the C-suite, to fix societal problems that they may see in their communities and across the world that they see that other organisations are not attending to. I also think that it can't be ignored that the modern employee wants to work for an organisation that has a genuine social purpose. There was a survey a couple of years ago that showed that 2/3 of the millennial generation would consider turning down a role in an organisation where they didn't have good social credentials. So this then is also kind of an internal pressure and means that organisations have a passionate workforce that want to hold their organisation to account in terms of what it's doing and ensure that it has impact beyond like the daily business practice.
Given the pressures that you talked about and the trends that we're seeing, would it be fair to say that businesses actually risk reputational damage if they appear to be reluctant to give?
We don't tend to see it so much as reputational damage as more a missed opportunity. It's such a clear and straightforward way of demonstrating purpose. I mean, it's literally putting money where your mouth is, that really we believe by not giving, you're missing an opportunity to establish your strategy, who you are and how you want to help.
Tell us a bit more about the Charities Aid Foundation, or CAF as you say, about what you do and how do you make corporate giving more impactful?
So we work with our corporate clients in a range of ways. We work to inspire them, to ensure that their giving strategy, giving programs are aligned to their overall business purpose so that they're genuine, that they make sense for their employees, for their consumers. We also enable them, so it can be challenging to give. So we provide a range of giving vehicles, products and services that allow clients to gather these funds, whether it be corporate funds, employee giving or employee fundraising, or perhaps from their supply chain and partners, and give them a space to kind of safeguard them and then make a strategic giving plan to grant them out so that they have impact. An example of this and what we do is quite well encapsulated by some work we did last year with the Association of British Insurers, who got in touch with CAF and we worked with them to set up a COVID-19 support fund. And this fund collected donations and giving from the long-term savings and insurance industry. And by working together, they were able to generate a £100 million fund, which was then granted out to a broad range of charitable areas that desperately needed funding at this time. So from mental health to dementia, to local communities. And this was a real great example of the strategy at work and when it can have genuine impact.
What would you say the collective impact of your work is on the wider business community?
I think it serves to inspire. We really try and work with our clients to tell their story, to work as a way to inspire the rest of the sector to give. And with ABI and the COVID-19 Support Fund, it really was a unique and unprecedented example of collective giving, of an industry coming together to generate incremental funds for charities that really desperately needed it.
Now, it's great to see the various charities benefiting from this giving, but for the organisations giving, it's not always as straightforward as it may seem. It's not without its controversies. So what are some of the problems that organisations can encounter when they want to increase their giving?
Our main, I think, advice would be on focus. It's important that the giving strategy seems genuine, that it is aligned to what the organisation does. It's something that employees can believe in, and having real focus and really thinking that through really avoids this pitfall of it being seen as a PR exercise or so-called greenwashing. So we really encourage clients to take that care in thinking that through, and consulting with us so that we can provide advice in that area if needed. And also, I think that focus, it avoids fragmentation, right? The world is busy. Organizations have lots of competing priorities that they need to focus on. And so by kind of being laser focused on what it is you want to achieve and the impact you want to deliver, that kind of stops some initiatives working in silo and brings them all together under one roof, which really makes it seem much more authentic and have much more genuine impact.
Now, that's the way that organisations and charities are working now, but obviously we're seeing a lot more social pressures, environmental pressures. How do you see giving changing over the next 5-10 years to keep up with those pressures?
I think businesses have long moved away from the kind of checkbook form of philanthropy where they, would write a large check and be photographed with it and in the local paper, and that's what giving is. It's already a lot more strategic, but clearly there's a lot more that we can do. There are still a lot of organizations that don't realize this potential. And I think, there's so much energy from workforces, brain power in the C-suite that really, by pulling this all together in the same direction, we can really deliver change.
We've talked a lot about change and how that's happening within the giving sector, if you like, and businesses and how they're connected with it. For people watching this interview and their key decision makers maybe thinking about increasing their giving, what are the key takeaways you would like them to remember?
Listen to your employees, listen to that passion in your workforce, know that they are, they're citizens in the world that have ideas, and think about what you can do as an organization to harness that. I would also think about your focus, your strategy. What is it that makes sense for you as an organization to do? What seems genuine? What is integrated into what you can do as a daily practice that will make real sense? And then also just really realize that by combining these two things and focusing on impact, it has a genuine reflection in business performance. This is undeniable, and the more that organizations realize this, the more real, true change we will see.
Well, it seems to me a win-win for everybody, for the charities and for the organisations themselves. It's been fascinating finding out more about how it all works. Philippa Cornish from the Charities Aid Foundation, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for having me.